Hello everyone, welcome back to Everything Football and welcome to the second episode of the Prediction Show. The new season obviously kicked off last week and I went up against Josh, the other half of FPL graduates, and I ended up losing, which means it's Glen 0 and the experts 1. Second up for the second week is the other half of the FPL graduates. Ben, how are you?
Oh, I'm buzzing. Hopefully I can make it 2-0 just like Brentford did last week, and I'm quietly confident because I was quite good last season at the Super 6 predictions. So hopefully in the Glen Nightly predictions, I can be up there and hopefully take a win for the others.
I was quite close. The scoreline was quite close. He did beat me. I think for the Burnley and Brighton game, I went for a 0-0 and you went for a Brighton win, and that's why I edged it. So I think it's harder to predict games in the first week because we still don't know what's happening and stuff. I think it could be easier to predict in the second week. So the first game for this week is going to be Liverpool against Burnley. So in case you don't know the rules yet, I'll put it on screen somewhere right now. You get 3 points for correct score, and you get 1 point for correct score for correct results, and 1 point for the bonus results at the end. So, Ben, Liverpool against Burnley is the first game on Saturday. What do you expect from that one?
I don't expect them to beat them as comprehensively as they beat Norwich, but I still expect them to win. I think they're going to build on what they did at the last weekend, and I'm going to go for a 2-0 Liverpool win. I don't think they're going to steamroll them, but I also don't think they're going to concede either. I think their defence is just going to get more and more solid as the weeks go on.
Okay, 2-0 to Liverpool. Burnley did look very threatening against Brighton from set pieces. I think they had like 4 chances or something, scored from one and hit the bar, I think 2 or 3 times. So they're looking threatening from that. So I wouldn't be surprised if they get 1 from that against Liverpool. So I'm going to go for Liverpool 3 and Burnley 1. 3-1 win to Liverpool. So obviously last season Burnley won at Liverpool, but I don't expect it this season. The next game on Saturday is going to be Aston Villa against Newcastle. Last week, Aston Villa lost to Watford, which wasn't a surprise to me, and Newcastle lost to West Ham after a second half comeback. What do you expect this time?
I expect a few goals in this one. Newcastle conceded the most XG out of any team in the league against West Ham, who are a decent team, and Aston Villa as well didn't look defensively too great in their defeat to Watford. So for me, I'm going to go for a 3-1 Aston Villa win.
Okay, I think Newcastle will get a goal. I don't think Aston Villa's defense is looking good. You're not sure he's going to play in terms of Target or Young at left back, and Watford ran them apart, carved them apart, especially in that first half. Could have been 4 or 5 for them. So I think Villa will win. It's going to be a close game. Aston Villa 2 and Newcastle 1. A win for Aston Villa. The third game on Saturday, same time kickoff as the Aston Villa one, is going to be Leeds against Everton. Obviously, tough start for Leeds last week, having to face United at Old Trafford. And for Everton, good start to Rafa Benitez era, beating, I think it was, they won 3-1 against Southampton. So what's your prediction for this time?
I think Leeds are going to beat them this week. I know how bad they looked in parts against Manchester United, but I think Leeds can turn Everton over. I'm going for a 2-0 to Leeds. I don't think Everton are going to play well this week. Ellen Road's going to be absolutely bouncing. So, yeah, 2-0 Leeds.
I think this is the first time they're having fans in the Premier League at Elland Road, like since 2004 something. So It's been 17 years. I don't think they'll get a winning start, unfortunately for them, but I think they'll get a point. So Leeds 2, Everton 2. 2-2 draw there. And then the next game at the same time, again, Crystal Palace against Brentford. Obviously, thanks to Ben's kindness, he has already mentioned Brentford's. Was it really a shock result from last week? I think they really deserved it. So Palace against Brentford, Palace losing to Chelsea, Brentford beating Arsenal. Do you expect Brentford to keep their shocking run or good run going?
It's a really difficult one to predict, this one, but based on the fact that Palace have a team still that are gelling together, a lot of new signings and stuff, and Brentford are new boys in the Premier League, I think they'll take any result away from home. So I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw in this one between Palace and Brentford.
1-1 draw. I'm actually going to go for another Brentford win. I think they looked very good in terms of attacking. I'm going to go for Palace 1, Brentford 2. It's going to be a shock back to reality for Vieira. It's not easy to be an English Premier League manager. It's easier to be a player and not a manager. So a loss for Palace in their first home game under Vieira. The next game at the same time on Saturday is going to be City against Norwich. So City losing their first game to Tottenham and Norwich, easy defeat to Liverpool. Can you see a shock result here, really?
See, if City had got a result against Spurs, I probably would have said yeah, potentially, because City could have turned off a little bit against Norwich, but because they lost, I think Pep's going to be so on it, and he's going to want to get a result so badly. So I'm going to go for a 3-0 win to Manchester City.
3-0. I remember when they were last in the Premier League, Norwich 2 seasons ago. This fixture, I predicted a 9-0 win for City. And those days, it wouldn't have been shocking, by the way. I don't see a 9-0 this time round, but with Jesus, I think he will start. I think the likes of De Bruyne will start in this one. I'm going to go for City 4, Norwich 0, a 4-0 win for City. The last game on Saturday, the late night kickoff, Brighton against Watford. Now, obviously, both teams looked very good in terms of attacking last week. Watford could have scored 5. Brighton could have had 3 or 4 in the final 20 minutes against Burnley. Another high-scoring game here for Watford?
Possibly not as high-scoring. I think Brighton are a better defensive side. And as we saw with last weekend, home advantage is a real thing. So I'm going to go for another home win. I'm going to go for Brighton to win 2-0 in this one.
Brighton to win 2-0. I think Watford will get a goal. Ismail Sarr and their new striker as well. I don't know if he's injured. I think he's called Dennis or something. I think they'll get a goal. So I'm going to go for Brighton 1, Watford 1. I drove that. Then let's go to Sunday. The 3 games on Sunday. The first one will be Wolves against Spurs. Do you think Spurs will keep their good run going again? Start to the season?
It's a really tough one to predict because obviously Nuno back at Wolves. A lot of the Wolves players there will be familiar with his systems and his patterns of play and how he plays. And I think Spurs could struggle. They have tended to struggle anyway away from home against teams like Wolves in the past. So I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw in this one. I think it's going to be a really tough one for them, but I think they'll be happy coming out of there with a draw so early on in the season as well.
1-1 draw. Wolves, Traore again missed a couple of chances against Leicester. Should have gotten something from that game. Tottenham, I think they were lucky to get something from City, especially in the first half. City missed a couple of 2 or 3 chances. Fernandinho's had Mahrez sitter, so I think City would have won it either way in the first half. So I think Tottenham are going to get a win, unfortunately. Wolves 1, Tottenham 2. 2-1 win for Tottenham. Then at the same time, kick-off Southampton against Manchester United. Both teams being involved in high-scoring games last week. Southampton losing 3-1 to Everton and United winning by 5-1. More of the same from United?
I think it's going to be a high-scoring game, yeah. Last season, their game was fantastic. It was 2-0 Southampton at half-time. It finished 3-2 to United. And I think we're going to see a pretty high-scoring game again. I'm going to go for 3-1 to Manchester United in this one.
3-1 to Manchester United. Okay, I think I'm going to... I don't know if they keep a clean sheet. I'm actually going to fancy them to keep a clean sheet. So Southampton 0, United 2. The last game on Sunday is going to be Arsenal against Chelsea. Try to be nice. What's your prediction for this?
I don't think it's going to be that high scoring. And to be fair, like Chelsea's bogey team is Arsenal, but I don't think I can back them this time because Tuchel is a very good manager and Chelsea have got a very, very good team. So I'm going to go for a 1-0 win to Chelsea, but it's going to be a close one, I think.
1-0 win to Chelsea. I'm going to go for a high-scoring game. I'm going to go for Arsenal 2, Chelsea 2. I can't predict an Arsenal loss, so I'm going to go for a 2-2 draw. But I think the likes of Lukaku will hit the ground running immediately, unfortunately. So unfortunate. He's not been in England. He's not been at Chelsea for 9 years, and then the first time he comes back, he's facing Arsenal. What a disaster. And then on Monday, I think someone from the FPL graduates camp has a ticket to this game. West Ham against Leicester City. West Ham against Leicester City.
I need to message Josh about that because I'm not too sure whether I'm going yet or not. But this is possibly the toughest game of the weekend to predict. But again, I'm going to back the home team in this one. I'm going to go for a 2-1 West Ham win. I think home advantage is going to play a massive factor, especially at the start of the season.
I'm going to go for match of the week here. I'm going to go for West Ham 3, Leicester 3. I can see a lot of goals with Vardy and Antonio both attacking. I can see a lot of goals here. So 3-3 to both teams. So those are the predictions for match week 2. Now let's get to the bonus questions. Last week, Josh got 1 point from one of the bonus questions, predicting Bruno Fernandes to score, and he actually did score. I predicted Aubameyang to score, and Aubameyang didn't play, so that's a point lost for me. So this week, Ben, one player to definitely score this week. Who are you going for?
I'm going to go for the safe option. I'm going to go for Mohamed Salah against Burnley at home to like the Anfield crowd. I think it's just written in the stars for him to score this week.
Okay, I'm going to go for a Leeds player. Leeds, he's just signed a new contract today at Leeds. So Bamford to get a goal against Everton to get his first goal of the season. I think he had a very remarkable season last campaign. So I'm going to go for Bamford to score against Everton. And then the last question, total number of goals this match week. Last week we predicted 20s, but there were more than 30 goals last week.
Oh, I'm trying to work it out.
Yeah.
I'm going to go for 23 goals this week.
23 goals. I'm expecting high scoring games at Brighton, at Southampton, at City as well, 4 or 5 goals. I think I'm going to go for 28. I'm going to go for 28 goals this match week. I think I'm actually going to add a few points to this part of the section, because it's almost impossible to get the exact number of goals in the match week. But for this week, if anyone gets it, it's only going to be 1 point. So let's see how Ben does it this week. Is he going to take a 2-0 lead for the guests, or is it going to be 1-1? So thank you very much for coming on. Where can they follow you?
Yeah, FPL graduates everywhere. We're getting closer and closer on TikTok to 50k. So, you know, every little helps, I guess. And yeah, make sure everyone, let's pester Glen to get on TikTok. We've been running this for a year now. This agenda, it needs to happen.
I mean, my goals are so high. When I get onto TikTok, I'll try to be like Kirby, the 100 million guy on TikTok. That's my target. So thank you for coming on. Let's see how it works out. Thank you for watching. Keep staying safe, and I'll catch up with you guys on the next one.